Hi, my lovelies. Welcome back to Story Hub Yogin. Today, I'll be sharing with you a real life story. If you have ever been to a boarding school, you might have heard of a lot of spiritual stuff, ghosts. And in Uganda, we had this thing called Bukarabanda, we had Misambwa. These are all spiritual entities. Majini, that is how they used to call them. So, boarding schools were associated with a lot of that, like these things called amayembe. There were things that would attack the school, attack the children, and maybe even end up losing kids. So in today's story, I'm going to be talking about a particular school that was suited in Mitiyana. As we say right now, it was demolished because of the incident that happened in the early 2000s. This school lost almost 15 kids. They died. Like, you didn't just lose them like what, they died of mysterious deaths after what they did at a stream where they had gone to collect water. It was a school situated, or it was a school located on the top of a mountain, and on this mountain, it was believed it was a spiritual mountain. People would go on top, on the other side. The school is on this side, but on the top, on the other side, there was a shrine, a big shrine, and they believed that witchcrafts, or witches would gather there and then perform their traditional rituals throughout the night. You will hear the drums at night. You will hear a lot of stuff, the singing, the dancing, and weird noises. But the owner of the school was a religious person, and it was a Muslim school, so he didn't really believe in this. And he knew that if you don't provoke these people, nothing will happen to you. If you do not provoke the beings that are living on this mountain, nothing will ever happen to you. But it's a school anyways, and you know teenagers are like that. It is a secondary school, and it has a lot of teenagers because it had A level and O level. O level is like Form 1, Form 2, Form 3, and Form 4. Then O level, no, that is O level. Then A level is Form 5 and Form 6. So it was 6 years. Like, it has 6 grades, different kids, and it's a boarding school. It wasn't a day school, it was a boarding school. So it had kids all over the country, west, north, everywhere, because it was a prestigious school, which was big and beautiful, and it has a lot of things by then. So they would collect the water that was supposed to be used for washing their uniforms, bathing, just for them, not for the school. The kids would go every afternoon after classes. They would go down the stream and fetch water, and they would go in groups. They would go with teachers to guide them, to help them not do mistakes along the way. Because when you go to the stream, they used to pass through a narrow path, and they were not allowed to pick anything while going to the stream. On this stream, there was a certain place around the stream, but on the other side, and there was a chessboard, a big chessboard, and they call this omweso gwemisambwa, like it is a chessboard for spiritual beings. And they say that if you had gone there around noon time, around 12 afternoon time, like 12, 2, and 3, around 3 and 12 there, you would find this chessboard being played, but you would not be seeing the people who are playing it. You just see the things moving, the pieces moving and moving. So no one had seen this before, and the kids would go get water and everything was well. They would go in groups like 30 kids, with 3 teachers. These teachers were supposed to guide 10 kids each teacher. Fetch the water, go back to school. The other water that was at the school was in tanks, and this water was used for cooking and for cleaning the school. So they would not allow the kids to use it because it would not be enough, since they did not have that proper. They did not have these well-dug wells that would help them get the water that would be enough for the whole school with the kids. So the kids had to go to the stream, fetch water, come back and do their. So one afternoon when the kids had gone to fetch water, they went and fetched water and then came back to school. But after reaching the school, something came in their mind, like something that will cause all this ruckus and even cause death at the school. So when they came back because they were supervised, they could not do anything. But 2 kids decided to go and play this chess game. But then they were afraid that they cannot go without someone, like without others helping. So they formed a group of 6 kids, and then they went down on the stream after they had come back. But their main purpose was to go and play the chessboard. When they reached there, They went over it and then they started playing. All was good. But while they were leaving, they noticed that they have lost one of the pieces. Like, because they had to put it back as it was, that to look that no one touched it. Because for them in their little minds, they thought that this is just something to scare kids. There is nothing that can happen to us. Now it's like nothing literally will happen. Just play it. Let's see what will happen. Okay, I played it. Let me see what happens. Then they lost the piece, and after losing the piece, they went back to school and they did not say a thing. So in the night, things started getting worse. Like the air at school was not the same air people were breathing. There was this kind of feeling people were getting, and the kids were just in a weird state. And the thing that started as a joke, only one kid started shouting at night and then banging his head, like, someone who has got a seizure like that. So, and this kid passes on the following morning. They thought maybe it's just maybe. So since it is a religious school, they start praying and they start praying, doing stuff that will help other kids, because every kid is falling sick. And then they are calling parents to come pick their kids from school. They take them home, and then you hear another student has died. Another student has died. Until it was on the 15th child, this is when they find out what really happened. 4 of them died, and then 2 of the surviving kids, one of them, while he was home, he started feeling this thing of the way this other kid started before he died, vomiting, feeling like you want to throw up, then feeling like you are losing your mind, and then you fall sick and then you die just like that. So he tells his mom, and his mom goes, and the mom takes the kid somewhere to a traditional healer. And when the traditional healer checked and see what happened, then he tells the mom that this kid did something very bad. They angered the spirits. And then they asked what really happened. So they tell the school administrators, so this is what happened, because they had to come to the school to perform rituals. And the school I'm talking about is one of the schools that was religious, and they were not into these things, but they've tried praying and things are not working out. So one of the parents calls the school and tells them this is what really happened, ABCD, and the person I've got to help us, the traditional healer, wants access to the school, because whatever is supposed to be done is supposed to be done in school. Because when the kids lost the peace, it isn't like they lost the peace. The peace was taken by one of the spiritual beings. And they were angry that these kids were warned not to touch this, and they touched it. They played with their stuff. So they followed the kids to the school, and they were just angry at all the kids. It didn't matter if you were there or you were not there. They were just attacking, feeding on the kids and killing them like that. So the problem was that the spirits had now settled in the school. And this traditional healer had to come and then do some rituals to get the spirit out of the school, or to chase it out of the school, so that all the kids, wherever they are, they will heal. So the school administrators first turn her down. They say they can't do that, ABCD. So she contacts other parents, and then she forms a group of parents. They protest. They are telling them we'll go to the police, then we'll go to the media. And then they said, okay, you can come and do this. So they go to the school. They do the rituals for the whole night until morning falls, and all the kids get better. But after this went out public and it was published and it was in the newspapers all over the country, the school had to be demolished because of the loss of the kids that have died. 15 children died. 15 died. Teenagers. Why? Because someone touched something that they were not supposed to touch. So that is the end of my story, and it is a real story. I'll be giving you more stories on this. If you liked it, please consider giving it a thumbs up, subscribe, share, and comment below. I will give you stories about school because I have a bunch of stories, and if you have your story and you want to share it with us, please feel free to contact us. Just go in the comment section and write, I want to tell you my story. I will contact you personally, and I'll get that story and I'll share it out with others. I love you. Stay blessed.